Hey guys, welcome back. I am Nate here with Hustle Buddies, where we share tools, tips, and advice for Amazon sellers. In today's video, I am going to be breaking down everything that you want to know about the brand new low inventory fee that Amazon has just implemented. This is one of the biggest changes in the marketplace that we've seen in the past couple of years, and we've gotten a ton of questions both here on our YouTube as well as inside of our Facebook group. Lots of people have no idea how to interpret this. Lots of people don't know how to find it. Lots of people are scared. They think the sky is falling. They think their business is ending, all of that. I want to encourage you guys, watch this video all the way through. I'm going to be explaining a lot of stuff. At the very end, I'm also going to be sharing a trick that we've learned that as of now, fingers crossed, has a 100% success rate in avoiding 100% of these fees. Okay? So make sure you watch all the way to the end. Let's dive into this. The new low inventory level fee is something by Amazon. They're trying to get more stuff in stock. It's kind of a convoluted attempt, in my opinion, because they're charging us if we have too much in stock or charging us if we have too little in stock. And now there's so many exemptions, they're hardly charging anybody anything. So why does this even exist? It seems unnecessarily complicated, but let's dive in, okay? So here is the main page. Now, you are all business owners. I think anyone who is intelligent enough to run their own business should be intelligent enough to pull up this page and read through it yourself. It's going to be important that you glance through all of this stuff at least once. Familiarize yourself with this. Don't think that you can't be bothered with this stuff. This is a part of your business. This is important. So read through this page. I'm going to be showing you the highlights. Now, this video is not going to be a complete A to Z guide where I spend an hour breaking down every single mathematical possibility and all of that. Okay, I don't think that's really what you guys want. If that is what you want, I'm going to put a link down below. A guy we know in the Amazon space did write up an article sort of like that, where it's a massive article really explaining everything about it. So I'll put a link to that down below. This is just going to give you sort of the meat and potatoes, the main stuff that is going to be mostly important for you. Okay, so as of now, they are charging this low inventory fee. Now, one of the great things is I'm making this video here on the 8th. Up until the 14th, all of the fees that Amazon has been charging you will be refunded to you. They will be credited back by the end of this month. Okay, so that's great. We're sort of still in our trial period. No one is actually getting charged fees. You're getting charged the fee. Let me reword that. You're getting charged the fee, but they're paying you back for it by the end of this month. Okay, so all of that is there. It exists. You can look at your own data. I'll show you guys how to do that here in a second. They are looking for stuff that's below 28 days, historical, long-term, blah, 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 equal or less than the last 90 days. Again, this is so convoluted. I don't know why they did it this way, but I'll try to show you the basics. Basically, if you have a product that historically has been selling a lot, and currently you only have a little bit of it, they're going to be charging you a small fee when the customer's order is shipped. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. It's not when you send it into Amazon. It's not like brand new listings, anything like that. It is when your current stuff gets shipped to the customer, and it's per unit fulfilled. So it's like if you have 1,000 units and it's saying, oh, each one of these is going to incur $1, that's probably going to change. Every week they update this. So it's every Monday, I believe. Every week they update this. So if you sell out 1 week and you're doing great, then awesome. You're probably good for that week. But then the next week you got to keep up with it and all of that. What are the fees? You can see them here. The cheapest fee is going to be 32 cents. Well, cheapest fee is going to be 0, but the cheapest applied fee here is going to be 32 cents for a small standard item where you have almost enough supply of it. And the most expensive fee here is going to be $1.11 for large items. And that's Amazon saying we need a lot more of this. Okay. There are quite a few things that are exempt. I'll show you guys this in just a second, how to find them, but there's quite a few things that are exempt, and these are going to be important to pay attention to, okay? So which of the items will the low inventory level fee not apply to? And it's all of these. So new professional sellers, if you've been selling for less than 365 days, you're completely exempt from this. You can ignore this, enjoy your easy life, and carry on. New to FBA parent products in the first 180 days. So basically brand new ASINs that are less than 180 days old, okay? Not brand new child ASINs, so you can't add like the size 10 Nike shoe to the main listing and that's exempt. No, that falls under the parent. But a brand new parent ASIN, which is most ASINs, for the first 180 days. A SKU for 70% was auto replenished through Amazon's warehouse distributing. That's probably not going to apply to 99% of you, so I'm not really going to cover that. And then the product that have sold less than 20 units in the past 7 days. They just added this one, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this later. Okay? So how do you find it? Well, there's 2 ways. You can find historically. You can go here. So we went to right up here. If you go to reports and then SKU economic reports, that's the page that we're on. Marketplace, we'll do Canada. We'll do last 30 days or whatever you want. Now, it's going to be important you select both of these boxes. Select both fee data and fulfillment base rate surcharges. You need both of those selected. In fact, I would probably put most of this stuff on. I mean, if you're not doing that, it doesn't really matter. You can put that on, off Amazon costs. You probably don't have much of that integrated. Sales data. So put a lot of the stuff on. More data is better than less data, in my opinion. So put most of that stuff on and then generate the report. It'll take about a minute or 2, depending on how many SKUs you have. I mean, maybe longer if you've got a ton, but it usually makes it pretty fast. It generates the report, and then down here, you can download that. So that's how you see historically what they have already charged you, because remember, they're refunding you, charged you for April and the beginning of May. Now, the second place that you can look this up is what are things going to be incurring fees. This is updated weekly. I believe it's on Monday. So this is just in our FBA inventory. So again, we're up here. We go to inventory and then FBA inventory. It brings us to this page. And you can just click here and sort it by low inventory level fee. So this is stuff that will incur a fee if it gets shipped to the customer. Now, take everything you see with a grain of salt. We've seen a lot of errors. We've seen stuff in here that says it's going to be incurring a fee, but then the person is completely exempt, so it's not getting any kind of fee. I think there's a lot of bugs in their system so far. So unfortunately, everything that you read, you sort of have to take with a grain of salt. I wouldn't get too stressed about too much. If something looks real strange, make a post about it in our Facebook group, and hopefully somebody can help. But those are the 2 ways that you can see, the 2 best ways that you can see what you are going to be getting in. Now, what does this mean for you guys? So if you are selling a brand new clearance item, you've never sold it before, you have no historical data, so will you be incurring a fee? No, you won't, because there's no historical data from you as a seller. So all of this is based on your metrics. It's not based on the listing. It's based on what you are selling. So if you haven't sold something, then your average 90-day sell-through, or your average 28-day sell-through rate over the past 90 days is going to be 0 because you haven't sold anything. So when people are worried about like, oh, what about seasonal stuff? No, doesn't matter because you haven't sold it at all. So it's going to show 0 as your estimated monthly sales. And are you going to beat 0 as far as like if you send something in? Yeah, you are. So are you going to get a charge a fee on that? No, you're not. Okay. Brand new sellers, which is a lot of you guys are newer to the Amazon space. If you're less than a year old, do you have to worry about this at all? No, just move on, move your life. Go spend your time sourcing more product and get better at that. The 20 unit thing was actually something they recently changed, and that's where a lot of the interesting workarounds come into play. So this 20 unit thing is basically what exempts almost everything that most of us are selling. If you're selling clearance items, well, you haven't sold 20 or more of that product in the last 20 days because you just sent it in, so it's exempt. Are you sending in 2 pairs of pants? Exempt. Are you sending in 19 pairs of bras? Exempt, because you haven't sold over 19. It's impossible for you to sell more than 19 units of that per day. So who is really this affecting? It's going to affect a small number of private label sellers, and it's going to affect a small number of sellers, small number of very specific niche replenishable products, okay? If you have some of those replenishable products that are getting hit with these larger fees, then you may want to look at raising price or sort of controlling the flow of inventory a little bit better, which honestly you should have been doing in the first place. We've seen some people where it looked like they were going to incur a fee, so they actually raised their prices so they wouldn't sell through as much. And then they kept making sales, so they started making more money on less sales, but they didn't incur the fee, and then they couldn't restock. They couldn't get more for a while. So they ended up making more money, because they took the time to look into this. Now, the interesting hack or workaround, I should say, is this whole 20 unit thing. If you haven't sold 20 units in 7 days, then it's exempt. So if you have a product that is going to be incurring a fee, let's say you're selling, I don't know, big bathtubs. I'm just going to use something massive. You're selling big bathtubs, and every single unit is going to incur that $1.11 fee, and you've got like 100 in stock. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to pay all this extra in fees. What you can do is raise your price for the next 7 days. Sell nothing or less than 20 over the next 20 days. Over the next 7 days, and then you're exempt. Okay? You'll be exempt because it refreshes weekly, so it refreshes on Monday. So if you just raise your prices for a week, then lower them for a week, you're good to go. Okay? So week 1, you raise it. Week 2, you lower it, and you sell a bunch week 2. And then week 3, you might have to raise it again, and you might have to alternate back and forth. But the times where this is going to come into play are so wildly uncommon that you're really not going to really have to worry about this. Again, if you're selling 1 or 2 clearance items, never going to happen. If you're selling 1 or 2 bras of this or pants of that or whatever, a lot of us are clothing sellers, exempt. If you're selling 1 or 2 of this book, if you're a bookseller, exempt. Okay? Pretty much nobody is getting hit with these fees. I actually asked in our Facebook group, what kind of fees are you currently seeing? Now, keep in mind that these fees are prior to this 20 unit minimum per 7 days being implemented. That just came out like a week ago. Okay. So everything that people were being charged for April was not including that 20 unit per 7 day exemption. Most of the people that we were seeing were getting charged between like $50 and $300. Now, that might sound like a lot, but then you start thinking about how much these people sold. People were selling like $250,000 in sales, $300 in fees. That's like less than 0.1% of their total revenue was this new fee. I mean, less than a drop in the bucket, okay? Minuscule amounts. A handful of people had larger fees. I think I saw one person that was getting charged over $1,000, but most of it was because they had some replens that they've been selling for a while that recently like went out of stock or whatever. And again, they can just raise their price for the next 7 days, so they don't have any sales for 7 days, and then they're good to go. It kind of resets that because that exempts it. Okay. I mean, yeah, we saw 300. Another person said it was like 250 off of. It was about 40K in sales for the month. So again, a drop in. I mean, that's less than 1%, guys. It's almost not there. It's so small. I mean, I've seen people say like, oh, well, I'm just going to start assuming that everything is going to have an extra $1 in fees. So like my minimum profit threshold, I'm going to raise it from $3 to $4. And that's fine if you want to do that. But this isn't necessarily, in my opinion, a reason to. If we're getting charged this fee on 95% of our products, 90%, 80%, 70% of our products, heck, 50% of our products, sure, let's just assume that for the sake of easy math, let's just pretend that everything gets the fee. But if like 0.1% of your products are incurring this fee, is it going to be worth adding this to your normal calculation and stressing out about this? No, because you're going to know ahead of time, is this a replen that I can sell a lot of? If it is, then you might have to look at the numbers and pay attention to that. Is this a one-off product? Is this a clearance product? Is this a discount product? Am I going wide or not deep, like Nate says all the time? Am I getting one of 20 different products? If any of those things are applying, you can forget about this fee, all right? So hopefully that clears it up. Again, we've seen so much doom and gloom. This is a very easy fee to avoid. Raise your price for a week, sell less than 20, between 0 and 20 units, and then you're good to sell it for the next week for whatever you want. And if you have to keep flipping back and forth, so be it. For most of us, once you do that once, you're sort of good to go. Okay? All right. Hopefully that helps. If you have any further questions about this low inventory placement fee, or if you see any weird glitches, or if you have a crazy story about it, put it in the comment section so we can sort of crowdsource information. Again, this is brand new. Amazon is going through some growing pains. There's a lot of glitches going on. There's a lot of errors getting thrown around. So let us know what you're experiencing, and maybe someone else is experiencing the same thing, and maybe we can help each other. All right? We will see you in the next one, guys. Hustle on, everybody.